Well, happy Friday, everybody,
Happy Friday.
and welcome to the back catalog listening party. My name is Mother Banjo, one of your hosts.
My name is Anthony Ihrig, the other host.
And today we have joining us, I believe, from Minneapolis, Northeast Minneapolis today, Kashimana. And
Hello.
bringing the sunshine, I see, which is so great, the yellow. And it is pretty sunshiny right now in the Twin Cities, but it's a little cooler than maybe some of us were expecting after the warm snap we've just had. And I'd love to know where you're tuned in from, what the weather's like, what you're drinking. It is Friday. It's happy hour in our book anyway. So tell us what you're enjoying. I am enjoying a Sauvignon Blanc, the finest that the box downstairs had to offer.
Nice.
Nice.
And what are you drinking, Cash? I heard a nice.
Slurp, a little
Yeah.
ASMR for you. I am drinking Sarah B white wine, Moscato to be exact, but I love it because it's mama safe as I call it.
Nice.
Mama
In your
safe.
travel mug there, I see,
Yeah.
which is great.
Yeah, traveling bottle. Which,
That's the
yeah.
way to do it.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Limits spillage and Tony, what are you enjoying on your Friday?
I'm staying local here with the Sweet Child of Vine from Fulton Brewery. It's a nice India pale ale.
Nice. And it looks like Chris is, of course, keeping company with some craft beer, enjoying.
Excellent.
I'm
Hey,
guessing.
Chris.
I don't know what he's having, but
Buddha pills,
often
perhaps.
often it's Uda pills. So we'll see. Connie joining us from Richfield
Hey, Connie.
and Wiley from sunny Virginia. Oh, right. I bet it's a little warmer there than it is here. It's kind of like, again, you're like, oh, it's nice out today. And then you step out and you're like, ooh. But I will say it feels nice and toasty in here. We're going to channel some good sunshiny vibes today on the back catalog.
And I didn't
we're-
get the yellow shirt memo, and so I actually went down and tried to find something. But if you're just listening, both Cash and Mother Banjo are displaying their sunshine for everyone.
Yeah, well, the music and the conversation will be sunshine enough, I'm sure. And yeah, Chris is having an Uda pills, summer beer. So that sounds good.
hey.
Well, cheers to all of you out there listening.
Cheers! Happy
and
Friday!
Cheers.
Hope you're ready for some good music.
Thank
gonna
God
be a
it's
good one.
Friday.
Yep.
That's right. And we are so excited to have Kashimana joining us. And I've been wanting to get her on the show for a while, and we finally found a date that works because she's been mighty busy of late. But for folks who maybe aren't familiar with your music, Cash, maybe you could just give the little 2-minute origin story of like where you grew up and how you came to be making music here in Minnesota.
All right. My name is Kashimana. Thank you so much for being here and hanging out and drinking and talking about music and listening to music that I did many years ago. I'm a mother, musician, a teaching artist, a composer, a performer. I perform in different iterations of bands. But this music that you're about to listen to is music that I've written pretty early on in my career. It's got a mix of stuff that I wrote maybe 5 years ago with a mix of stuff I wrote maybe 10 years ago. It's, I love music. I've always loved music, and I believe everybody should write music at some point in their lives. And
Agreed.
that's what I love to share. And I come by way of Nigeria, via Kenya. Now, Minnesota's my home, and I've been here the longest now.
Excellent. Wonderful.
Yeah.
And you were talking about writing songs. We're going to get a little more into the writing of the songs on from this album that we're going to feature, Love from the Sun. But before we do you remember when you wrote your first song?
Oh, yes, I do. I do. It's a very controversial story.
Ooh, juicy.
Yeah, tell us.
Should I tell you?
Do
Okay.
tell.
So,
Just between us.
Yeah.
just between us and the internet.
You can edit it as you to your discretion. Yes.
So yes, I will edit it to my discretion. I found myself in trouble with my parents, as you want to do around between the age of 5 and 7, I think. And so I really like listening to music and had just like, gotten into looking at the LP, the little inserts, and saw that I could write stuff. So I wrote a song about my struggle at the time, which was being punished for the thing that I did, and just telling my parents, please don't punish me in my songwriting. And, uh, it was a lot. I'm editing, of course, here. So, it
Hmm.
was a lot stricter,
Yeah.
usually involved a lot of ouchies.
Yeah.
But the threat of, right.
Yeah.
But it was an
Is
autobiographical piece.
autobiographical. But I shared it with my mom, and my mom was like, so like not taken aback, but so curious about why I would write a song about this, and why, like this is the first song I've written that she knows of, and it's
Hmm.
about like me being punished, discipline. And so she asked me a lot of questions, and it was just like it just occurred to me like, wow, this is another way to communicate. This is
Mm.
another way
Hmm.
to like get to the hearts of people without like, a lot of, meandering.
Mhm.
um and so I was hooked. I was like, ooh, I
The
see what
power of
this can
song.
do.
Yeah.
That worked.
And right away, like I would say like my parents were really sweet and rarely, disciplined us, but like right away I could tell there was a little bit more thought and like, will this end up on a song? No. Ah! So I was Taylor Swift before. No, I wasn't Taylor Swift. I'm
Yeah.
not Taylor Swift. But yeah, I pulled from my life, and that's the first song I wrote. And then I didn't write for a long time after that because I was like, ooh, this is kind of dangerous. This is, I mean, so much power in a song. And
Hmm.
the whole vulnerability of sharing it and like maybe upsetting people emotionally. So I was just kind of like, I didn't write for a while. And then in Nigeria, everybody's like engineer, doctor, lawyer. Those are your options. So I just was like, oh, that's cool. Put it in the backside, put it in the dark for a long time. And then the love just crept back in.
So when you say that your options were what, engineer, lawyer, doctor, which of those were you pursuing?
Oh, I was pursuing doctoring because
Mm.
I was like, if I can't heal people through music, I'm going to try to heal them through medicine. And
Nice.
I love biology, and the storytelling in biology. I still like nerd out on scientific articles.
Mm. You're not
I'm not
alone.
I'm not like in deep like journal. I can do a journal or two here and there, like if it's free and available, but there's paywalls for like journals most of the time. So um I still love the geek out on science, biology stories and articles. I'm there.
Wow.
So yeah, that's what I pursued.
So
Excellent.
when did the songs come back? When did the songwriting just kind of bubble
Um,
up to the surface again for you?
it kind of inched in, like, I would do little performances at school, at church. I think church just kept the music alive, as far as like, I didn't have an instrument or I didn't have music lessons. So a lot of it was church and the activities that we
Hmm.
did with church. And then after that, it was just like, okay, the writing kind of crept in, like, oh yeah, I have the song for church, and I have the song for this, school performance. And then eventually when I could get music lessons, I signed up for that. um, and the love came right back, and the writing came back right back. And then went to college for biomedical sciences, and by like my third year, as I was like sitting and listening to virology or biotechnology or whatever it was, I was writing songs. And I was like, this might be a problem.
Nice.
Did you write any songs as like mnemonic devices while you were studying?
Oh,
I
not
want to know if you have
too
any
much.
biology songs that
I have like
students could learn.
wow, I have one biology song that looking back might have been a sign of things to come, but um I don't remember how it goes, but I remember like just one specific part, which is like asexual and sexual, all of us something. But
Mm.
I had like, you know, because we were figuring out, we were learning about like the what's the word the lineage of plants and
Mm.
fungi, like how they
Mhm.
separate, and one's like sexual and one's asexual. And
Mm.
so anyhow, that's the only time that music and biology like really like meshed. But
Mhm.
it's not my thing.
Well, I wouldn't
Well,
mind a concept album down the line. I think
yeah.
that would be pretty cool.
Oh, it would be interesting. I know Bjork did one album where she uses a bunch of voices and sounds that the body make
Hmm.
to
Mm.
make the soundscape of the album. Maybe,
Yeah.
maybe.
Well,
Poking it.
and we'll talk a little bit about this later, but I know your upcoming release. There's definitely some biology about biology of motherhood, but we'll
Yes.
talk a little bit about that later. But for now, let's get some music because I
Yeah.
think folks are ready for some tunage. And this is brand new. This is from your 2017 release, "Love from the Sun." Is there anything you want to say about this track before we take a listen?
Yeah, this track is about love, brand new love, how it makes you feel, and old love, and how that always makes you feel like young again.
Hmm.
All right, let's give it a listen. This is brand new from Kashimana here on the Back Catalog Listening Party.
You make me feel brand new. All the years melt away. You smile at me and say, you make me feel brand new. All the years melt away. You smile at me and say, I can't help myself. You done changed the game and a future. Without you seems insane. I wanna talk to you about everything. Share my secrets. All of you listening. I want every part of you. You make me feel brand new. All the years melt away. You smile at me and say, you make me feel brand new. All the years melt away. You smile at me and say, all you need. I believe it too. But there's much more I wanna do for you. Don't you ever doubt. I love to hit the spark, and I'll kiss you now. How I kissed you at the start. With every part of me. You make me feel brand new. All the years melt away when you smile at me and say, you make me feel brand new. All the years melt away when you smile at me and say,
Oh yeah, have to
Yeah.
wait for that last drum hit.
Mm-hmm.
Kashimana with brand new from her 2017 release, "Love from the Sun." Cash joining us live today on the Back Catalog Listening Party. That's the kind of soul sounds I needed on
Mm-hmm.
this Friday afternoon as we kick off the weekend. And I love the horns, the warm sound. I mean, it's just a classic kind of love soul song.
Mm-hmm.
Did you grow up hearing those kinds of soul songs?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how you could avoid them. But yes, oh my God. Listening to James Brown and just, Aretha Franklin. And I mean, Whitney Houston when she gets deep,
Yeah.
it's just
Mm-hmm.
really good stuff. Tina Turner was a huge influence too. So Al Green, my parents used to play that. So it was just, yeah,
In there.
inevitable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when you wrote this song, is that how you envisioned it, or did that kind of happen as you went into the studio and be like, "Yeah, horns would work on this," or did you always kind of hear it that way when you wrote it?
Yeah, I always heard it with the big band playing it and with horns in there for sure, and the screaming guitar. So it was just like I think when I started like when I wrote the song, I was working. I think I was at McNally Smith, and I wrote it and took it to the Brandon Project, which was an old band that I was with. They're no longer together. One of my favorite bands, but it was like neo soul, and we had horns in there, so we worked it for a while, but we never recorded the album, and so I used it for this project, for my solo project, and here we are.
It sounded just like you guys were having a conversation. I was listening to that guitar player kind of going back
Yeah.
and forth with your vocals. Was this just you in a big room playing live?
No, I think we also recorded it in McNally Smith College
Oh,
of Music because you can record for free in the
nice.
amazing studios. But yeah, no, it was just we could see each other. We were all in different rooms. Vocals in one, and then guitar and bass in one, and drums in the middle, and I think we had to layer the horns in later, but
But
for
a
the
lot of it was
most part,
tracked live.
tracked live.
Yeah,
Yes,
you can feel
yes.
it. There's a lot of just amazing energy in that
Mhm.
recording.
Yay! I
Yeah.
love that live sound. Yes.
Hmm.
Yeah. And this was this your first solo album? This one that we're
Yes.
doing
So
today?
this is my official first solo album. I think I did a mixtape. There's a mixtape somewhere in the ether. Um, but yeah, this is my first solo project.
Well, I agree
Wow.
with Joni here, who says, "What a gorgeous voice." Your vocals really are a standout on that track. Do you have a formal training with the voice, or is that just something you've always done? You've always sang.
I mean, I've always sang, and I've had different teachers at different points in my singing career. The most consistent with it I've ever been is when I was at McNally. So I had the amazing Sahar. Hassan was one of my teachers. I've done some coaching work with like Sarah Greer at some point. And before that, I think I did some coaching also at McPhail.
Mm.
I can't remember my teacher's name. But I think it was a Kevin, but don't quote me.
Yeah. But yeah, that it just the voice is one of those instruments that I think some people just think just you either can do it or you can't. I love the
Oh,
idea of like coaching. Like people should know that you can
yes.
train your voice to do
Yes.
amazing things like what we just heard.
Oh yeah, totally. I was born loud for sure. My character, like in general, like just talking, is very quiet. But like when I'm on stage, I'm loud. So the the training came later for me, but I always encourage people like you can sing without the training. Most people aren't tone deaf. There's actual like studies done about this. Like there's maybe a handful of people that are actually like can't hold a tune ever, can't tell the difference between notes. So I always say, give it a year, go karaoke like once every week, every 2 weeks. Within a year, you're going to see your voice even improve. And then after that, get some training.
Well,
Nice.
I love the advice about karaoke. So I want to know what's your go-to karaoke song?
Oh my God. It depends. It really depends. Um, so So when I go karaoke, I usually go to karaoke for songs that I don't sing anywhere else. So obviously my stuff isn't on karaoke.
Yeah.
But the stuff I do with Power 10, which is like Earth, Wind and Fire, Chicago, all of that, like horn, dance music, right?
Yeah.
I love singing those songs. I never pull them up on karaoke unless somebody absolutely begs me to. And so the thing I love to sing the most is Audio Slave Like a Stone.
Nice.
Nice.
I love that song from the first moment I heard it. And then I was like, I'm going to try this karaoke. And it's like usually like floors everybody when I do that one.
Nice.
Well, and it's cool to pick something too that people don't expect, right?
Right.
Singer.
And
Yeah.
something that I would never be able to convince a band to do live too. So, and then I want to dance with somebody, of course, Whitney. I got to do that. But that's also an end of the night thing because that
you can't
takes
break it up
stamina.
too early. Yeah, you can't do it too early.
Right.
A few drinks in, you have nothing to lose. Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, it looks like one of your teachers here is on the chat.
Hey,
So,
yes.
yes, it takes a village. And I love the idea that, again, you're always learning, because I think sometimes, as Tony said, sometimes there's this feeling of like, either you can sing or you can't, or if you are a good singer, you don't need training. And it's like, no, you can always learn, like any other instrument. You can always learn new things about your instrument, and especially because everyone's voice is their own, right? No one has the same voice, so it's even different from like
age to
a
age.
guitar, because like the technique is still applicable, but when you have a different instrument you're working with, you can't apply all the same things. So
amen.
And everyone's got one. And like you're saying, you encourage everybody to write. I mean, everyone's got a voice, and it boggles my mind that everyone's not singing all the time.
Yeah.
All the time. Every time.
Well, speaking of music all the time, let's get back into it. The next track that you picked to feature on today's show is Come, Mary, Come. Is there anything you want to say about it before we hop on?
Oh, yeah. This is a dream song. So this song came in a dream. Woke up like at 5 a.m. scared, like, why did I write the song? And because first of all, it's a religious song, and then second, I was just like, it's too good, why? And so almost everything in this song is exactly the way it came in the dream, except for maybe one or two words.
Wow. Well, let's give it a listen. This is Kashimana with Come, Mary, Come here on the Back Catalog Listening Party.
Come, Mary, come. It don't matter what they do to you. Come, Mary, come. It don't matter what you think you've done, comes and occurs. It don't matter how far you think you've gone. 'Cause in this place, you have been washed reverently. So open the gun. 'Cause this is your house. Open the gun. It don't matter what you think you've done. Come stand the gun. It don't matter how far you think you've gone. 'Cause in this place, you have been washed reverently. So come stand the gun. 'Cause this is your house. This is your house. This is your house. This is
Goosebumps. Kashimana with "Come Mary Come," and the comments were lighting up. Lots of wows and exclamation points, and yeah, Wiley also says
Thank
goosebumps.
you.
Yeah, what a powerful song.
Hmm.
And
Came to you in a dream.
Yeah, yeah.
So did you just wake up and get a recorder out and hum the melody? How did you capture this dream?
Oh, I mean, first of all, I got out, and at that time I was like, yeah, let me just say a prayer or two here. I remember calling I got the recorder out, the memo or whatever, and I was like, I can't record this. I got to be able to like sing this out. So I think I ran upstairs so I wouldn't wake my husband up, and I just recorded it into the memo, and I wrote the lyrics down because usually, like, a melody comes in a dream, a lyric idea comes in a dream, but the whole song was there.
Wow.
Like, as soon as I woke up, wrote everything, recorded the melody, recorded the so even came like with a little bit of arrangement and a picture in my head. Like, I just remember having the dream. I was in a desert, winds blowing. I see a shack in the distance. Looks like it's barely held up, dilapidated wood shack. Walked in, and like light just like shining through a crack, and somebody like at this altar, and they sang this song to me, and I woke up like singing it, wrote it down, and like that was it.
wow.
And so first time like a whole song ever came to me, like top to bottom, here you go. And
Wow.
yeah, it gives me goosebumps just listening to it,
Mhm.
because I'm like, this song, I can't even claim to have written it. Really, because in my mind it just felt like I saw something and it ended up on the paper. So
Messenger.
Yeah.
like a message. A message. It's not my song. I truly feel like this is for somebody else to perform, but I needed to record it so that it gets out in the world so somebody can eventually cover it.
Although I don't know, I can't imagine a better version, to be honest.
Yeah.
It sounds
Oh,
amazing. And
thank you.
Joni wanted to know, is that a choir behind you, church or otherwise? And
Yeah.
who's singing all those parts?
Oh, okay. So, actually, it's a bunch of people from McNally Smith. I was just like, look, I need some help. I really
So fellow
hear
students.
fellow students, people in the community that, were like, yeah, we got you. They showed up one Saturday morning. We went into like abandoned stairway. What am I trying to say?
Farewell.
Stairwell. Yes. Stairwell. And recorded it. And I didn't know what they would, I kind of knew that line was in there, and we'd have some oohs and some this. And then the amazing Katie Rocket, who recorded, engineered, mixed, and mastered everything, was just there, really great ear, just really directing the choir and directing us. It was one of my favorite things to record the whole album with her. So she kind of just told us what to do, when and how. So that's when, your engineer is also like the partner and the collaboration and the creation of what people get to experience and hear. So yeah, I think I have a list on the album, but right now I couldn't tell you. It's just a bunch of friends in a stairwell.
Wonderful. And Joni also said, that guitar reminds me of Prince. And so I'm guessing it wasn't Prince on the album.
Yeah,
but
and it definitely wasn't me playing the guitar. No, I don't know how to rip like that.
So tell us who is playing on this song and this record. Is it the same band throughout, or are they?
Yeah, it's pretty much the same band throughout. I think the guitarist is Seth what? I forgot his last name. Let me pull it up right now. I just haven't had a chance to work with him since then, because you know what happened. Bummer. McNally Smith folded, right?
For those of you who don't know, McNally Smith College of Music was a great music school based here in St. Paul, Minnesota, and a few years ago it closed down, but it produced so many great, not just musicians, but projects like this. So many things that were recorded there, and the sort of community it built was such a real beacon in our community.
Seth Holtz is his name. That's the guitarist, amazing guitarist. I don't even know if he's still in town, but I haven't seen him in a minute. So the whole list of people that helped on Come Mary Come, my husband was in there, James Miranda, Maddie Franz, May Esperanza Los Loslo, Jenny Volkman, and Katie Lundquist were all in there. The other musicians included Gloria Yard, who's an amazing drummer. You gotta check her out. Jack Zlondo, he's not local, but amazing bass player. Benjamin Howe on keys. He's Minnesota-based, but also like out of the cities. And Erin Rachel Duguay, I don't know where she's at, but Sarah O'Neill's in town. So many amazing people helped with this album. It's so nice to think of all of them right now.
Well, we're showing, if you're just listening to this, we're showing the back cover where we have all these people listed, and we will put this in the show notes. So if you're interested, you can go to backcatalog.listeningparty.com/162, and you'll find all of this information there.
Yeah.
And Joe commented to say the list of musicians on this album, 14 lines long. It's like a whole music festival in itself. And I would say that. And if you want to get a copy of this album, either the digital files, or I believe there's still physical copies, right?
I still have boxes at least one box in my home. So
okay, well, you can
send me a message.
Order it directly from Kashimana.com, and you can pick that up and get yourself a copy, because man, it sounds great. If you're just listening on YouTube, you need to hear these songs in their full fidelity, because there's a lot going on.
Yeah, and if you don't do the CD thing, the high-res files off of Bandcamp, I know she has a Bandcamp site, will do, and that's a great way to tip an artist too. We always say this every week. Bandcamp lets you pay what you want, so you could buy the CD, and then you could buy a few, or you could throw a little extra in the tip jar.
You know what else you can do is
catalog.
Exactly,
That's right.
and you can also gift one of the things I love about Bandcamp is it makes it really easy to gift music, even the digital music. So you can give it to a friend too.
Yeah.
So that's a great way to support musicians. And Chris wanted to know, Kashimana, have you crossed paths, participated with other Minneapolis artists? Like he was mentioning Sounds of Blackness, Steels, Petersons, Debbie Duncan. Are these any of these artists that you've crossed paths with over the years?
Yes, I have crossed paths with them, with Sounds of Blackness, the Steels. I've met too many Petersons to know if I know of the Petersons that you're talking about. And of course, the amazing Debbie Duncan. Oh my God. Yes. So, yes, I haven't actually collab. Like, I think the only thing I did with, I sang with some singers from Sound of Blackness for like a show way back when. I couldn't tell you who it was I sang with. But yeah, I try to be connected to the scene as much as possible.
Yeah, for sure. And for those of you who don't know, all those artists that we just mentioned are just wonderful vocalists, mixing up gospel and jazz and all blues and all kinds of music.
Oh my God, it Sounds of Blackness would sing the song.
Yeah,
we're putting it out in the universe. And
all of those are artists that we'd love to have here on Back Catalog. So we'll work on that too. So if you, speaking of which, if you just joined us for the Back Catalog listening party, this is the show where we invite different artists on to revisit their old records, listen to the songs, talk about them. If you have questions or comments for Kashimana, who's our guest today, feel free to throw it in the comments as we go, because this is all about music and conversation. So, and we got a comment. Congratulations, my sister.
Hi, Catherine. Oh my God. Hi.
And reunions. We're all about the reunions here on Back
Well,
Catalog.
music is best served. Oops, sorry about that. We're not quite there yet. I was just going to say,
we're not done yet.
Music is best served, in a group. It's best together. And sorry, I got a little excited pushing too many buttons there. But yeah, jump in, say hello. We love it. That really is what this show is all about, because that's what music does. It brings people together.
Exactly. And we're going to continue with the music because we want to get to as many tracks as we can from this 2017 release you put out, Love from the Sun. And the next track that you picked to feature on today's show is Broken Heart Refund. Is there anything you want to say about this?
No. I think it's pretty self-explanatory. So
all right, we're gonna let the music speak for itself. This is Kashimana, Broken Heart Refund, here on the Back Catalog Listening Party.
Have the I can't be a lost cause like you, baby. Well, if you want it, broken heart, congratulations. Here's my heart. Hey, for empty. Roll for aching. No refund here. Cynic mind included for well, if you want it, broken heart, congratulations. 'Cause here's my heart. Hey, for empty. Roll for aching. No refund here. Cynic mind included for free. Though it hurts me, I gotta let this go. I can't give you what's left of me. Well, if you want it, broken heart, congratulations. 'Cause here's my heart. Hey, for empty. Roll for aching. No refund here. Cynic mind included for
Oh, love the tinkling at the end of that. That's great. Kashimana with Broken Heart Refund from her 2017 release, Love from the Sun, which we're revisiting today on the back catalog listening party with Kashimana joining us live. And man, the vocals, the harmony vocals on that just such a wonderful conversation going on and kind of unique parts. You know, sometimes you kind of expect to hear certain kinds of harmonies and then you're surprised. You're like, oh, I expected harmonies on this kind of, big song, but maybe not like that. And were those parts that you heard, or is that what the singers brought to the
Yeah,
session?
those are parts that I heard, and it's a little bit of both. I think they did something, and then I went and did something, and we just kind of layered it, and
So
it
you're on
becomes
there as
this
well.
thing. Yeah.
Multiple
So
caches. Yeah.
multiple caches, as well as the two background vocals, Sarah O'Neill and Aaron DeGay. Yeah, just good stuff. And listening to the whole band, because, I haven't done this album with the whole band in ages, too, because pandemic. Um, and yeah, this one of I even forgot how the bridge went because I think we wrote the bridge like last minute, like not in the studio, but almost in the studio.
Like right before, outside the
right
doors.
before, we gotta figure this out. We're recording next week.
Well, that brings up an interesting point because so often artists, when they're, studio time is one of the big expenses that they have when making a project. But obviously, you recorded this at McNally Smith College of Music when you were a student, so you presumably you didn't have to pay for the time, which is, of course, a wonderful
No.
advantage. Did you feel like you had more freedom as a result to play around with stuff, or did you still feel like we only have this much time?
I mean, you still only get like, I think the sessions are always like 3 hours or something. So you couldn't like, it was very rare for you to book like a whole day, which is generally like, how you want to do it with a bunch of musicians. But because all of us we're students, we, had available hours, and then also booking, you could only book, I think, like 2 sessions per week or something. Anyways, so there was a little bit of like, you got to get it done, but it wasn't like as rushed as like, I'm paying $1,000 per hour or something for this,
Yeah.
which if anybody ever asks you to pay $1,000 per hour, run.
Too much.
I don't know why this keeps happening, folks. I'm so sorry. There's a
I thought it was
ghost
a
in my
comment.
machine.
I thought it was a comment. You're like,
Right.
that's what I
I'm
have
like,
to say about $1,000. Exactly. Well,
Nice.
Chris said your voice is awesome, powerful, emotional, passionate, musical. You are your own voice, but reminds us in style to Ruthie Foster, another wonderful artist. And Uh,
you.
I do want to mention that if folks are loving this music as much as we are, that not only can you buy this record, you can buy it on CD or digital from Kashimana.com. Also, you have some new music out. You just released a new single called "Only Human," which I
Yes.
need to talk about because I love it so much. And if you like vocals in particular, you'll want to check this out because it's a lot of cash vocals happening
Yep.
and
And
and a lot of and going back to the biology. So it's a lot about motherhood. Is there anything you want to say about the new single that's out?
yes. So this new single, Only Human, um, also parenthesis, hey, 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 ah. So it's about,
Nice.
people, it's about becoming a mother and dealing
And
with all the
childbirth, the
and
sounds, right?
childbirth
Yeah.
and going through the roller coaster of what that is and the reality of like, okay, my body's changing so fast. The way I'm thinking is changing so fast. Oh my God, now I got a baby. What do I do? What decisions do I make? All of the things in a song. But it's also joyful. So it's
Yeah.
celebration and like, wow, this is really different. And there's that moment where like the baby's like moving in your body and you're like, now I feel like an alien. Like, what the hell? So
An
just being
alien's
like,
taking over my body. Yeah.
exactly. Just being like, well, I'm only human. I'm gonna make mistakes, and now I'm this new thing, mother, right? Uh, and how that relates to like how things are changing, and to give myself grace. Reminder to give myself grace and have fun. So it's voice driven. I do have there are other vocalists on this too. The amazing Asia Parham, Sarah O'Neill, Gloria Yard. So some old collaborators, new collaborators too. Um, Kari Jackson on the bass. So it's a good time. But it's part of a bigger album called Phantom Cries, which is gonna be like everything motherhood happened, political statement, all of that together.
All of it.
Nice.
And that's
Yeah, it's
coming
gonna
out
be a
July
journey.
July 28th. Look for that new album for Kashimana. And if you live in the Twin Cities, Minneapolis release show at the Cedar. Tickets are already on sale, thecedar.org.
Yes.
Go get them.
Definitely want to check that out because I just had the advantage of seeing Cash perform live recently at the 331 Club. And we'll make sure to share that. There's a live stream link of that where she does some of these new songs, and it's pretty amazing. So we'll make sure to share that with you and put it in the show notes. But yeah,
Oh my
new
God.
music from Kashimana. You got to check it out, as well as this wonderful release we're enjoying today. So
I want to give a huge shout out because the photographer that did the album art and like the promotional shot for this is in the building too. Hi, Irene.
Oh,
The
awesome.
amazing Lillian Rose photos. Let me tell you, I went in there like all busted, and the pictures made me look like I have it all together. I felt like such a rock star. Definitely book Irene Lillian Rose photos when you get a chance.
All right.
Hey!
Awesome. I love seeing all the artists come together here on the back catalog.
too.
And
Yeah.
and speaking of people coming together, we're going to get to one more song in just a little bit, but I do want to take this opportunity to thank the folks that come together every week and month to support the back catalog, our Patreon supporters. These are the
Yes.
folks that have kept this show going for over 3 years now. I
How
know.
can that be? That can't even be possible.
I don't know. But these are the folks that support the show and have said, we started during the pandemic, but these folks said, who cares if people are doing live shows? We still want this live
Yeah,
stream.
we still want all the inside
conversation,
scoops
yeah.
on the what happened in the
We
recording
want both.
studio.
We want live shows and the live conversation about the back catalog. So we want to thank Penny, Anna, Linda, Bevan, Connie, Vaughn, Alan, Chris, Alex, Becky, Kaylin, Peggy, Joe, Jim, Beverly, and John, Fred, Tim, Sarah, David, Jocelyn, Court, Matt, Steve, Mark, Homestead, Pick and Parlor, Seven, Lynn, Mary, Many Tracks, Nikki, Joni, David, Sarah C, CJ, and Wiley, and maybe you. If you want to join the party or keep the party going, go to patreon.com/back catalog listening party. And you get first scoop of what the next guest will be. But we still have this guest with us, and we want to get to one more song.
Can't we just have her on every week? I don't
Pretty
know.
much.
I would like to. Can I be like an honorary guest?
You could be
This hour
honorary
has gone
co-host.
by so fast, and that's always just the mark of just such
I
great
thought we
music and
actually still had
conversation.
more. Like I thought it said 4:33, and it was like, oh, it's 4:43. Oh, okay, yeah. It's like it's gone by so fast, and you're bringing the sunshine in so many ways, not just from this album Love from the Sun, but this has just been so wonderful. So we have time for one more though, and this is Let the Sinning Begin, the acoustic version. And I do want to point out that if you get this album or listen to it, that there's a couple songs where there's like a band version and then an acoustic version. And so this is the acoustic version of the song, but there's another version on the album. What can you tell us about this song, or also why you decided to have an acoustic version of it?
So I wanted to like release some singles earlier before the full album came out. So I thought doing like an acoustic version of the songs would be a good way to do that. And also just I have a habit of like getting in the mood to like record a full project, which so you do something small, you say, yay, I did that thing, woohoo, now I can do the thing, right? So you'll see that as a theme in my work. So this song, Let the Sinning Begin, I don't get to perform it that often live because first of all, it's a country song. It doesn't always fit the vibe. Actually, I don't think it's ever fit the vibe except for at the release show.
And here, well, everything fits our vibe, yeah.
Right. But then I love the amazing James Taylor, not the national James Taylor, because I don't have that pull, but there's an amazing James Taylor here in Minnesota. He used to be a boxer. He's a hair barber and amazing personality, sweetheart. And he sings country like it's, oh my God. If you ever hear him sing like Tennessee Whiskey, you'll just be like, who was the original singer for this? Because erased. So his voice always gives me chills and goosebumps. And I wanted everybody to experience that, especially since I don't get to perform it live and live with him too. So there's 3 layers of like why it doesn't happen in the live presence. And I just wanted you to feel this before we left.
Nice. And, you know, one more thing before we go, I realized that I got some pictures from you before the show, hand-drawn pictures. And I just remembered this now because I remember this image here. It says, Let the Sinning Begin, and it says beer, whiskey, and gin. I got to know what, there's a series of these. We can add them to the show notes. Yeah. But can you talk a little bit about these illustrations?
Oh, these illustrations were just like little inspirations for like the mood of the song. At some point, they were probably going to become like album covers, but I totally didn't do them in the scale that, you know, the box that you needed them to be for album covers. Sure. They just ended up being extra like inspiration art. And I was trying to do like my Ed Sheeran art thing. And you can tell I am not an artist. If somebody here knows how to make these look way better, I'm open to doing a book.
I love it.
These things,
but it says so much, and that's what matters.
Beer, whiskey, and gin, and it's part of the song, and we're drinking, and it's Friday, so it just feels like the perfect song to go.
Let the begin,
yeah, absolutely. Well, like I said, we'll add those to the show notes so you can take a look at all the different ones for some of the songs that we listen to. But for now, let's just let the sinning begin. This is Kashimana here on the Back Catalog Listening Party.
Do you ever get the feeling that you're gonna need some saving before the day is done? 'Cause your words are getting sharper, you might set someone on fire with that wicked tongue. Might be Mercury in a retrograde, might be the time of the month I didn't get laid. Who care, I'm out of here, pour me some beer, whiskey or gin. Let the sinning begin.
Do you ever have an inkling that you're gonna need some drinking to erase the past? And there's no use in pretending that there'll be a happy ending, time to have a blast. Might have found your love's a cheating rat, and they run off before you could get your back. Who cares? They're out of here. Pour me the beer, whiskey or gin. Let the sinning begin. I might even need a lawyer or a savior, someone who'll say that it'll be okay.
Well, you better call the doctor or the pastor.
I'm putting my time in confession today. Do you ever hear a ringing in your ear, be a singing that you've had enough?
And you've come to a conclusion that you had enough confusion, better toughen up.
You've reached the end of your crazy maze.
No matter how far you run, trouble never strays.
You
cares?
can't know that it's there. Pour me some beer, whiskey or gin.
Let the sinning begin. We might even need a lawyer or a savior, someone to say that it'll be okay.
Better call the
Doctor or a pastor. I'm putting my time in confession today.
maybe tomorrow.
Maybe tonight.
Do you ever get a feeling that you're gonna need some saving for the day is done? Let the sinning begin.
Let the sinning begin.
Let the sinning begin.
Let the sinning begin.
Oh yes, I love that. That
I
is
love it.
Kashimana
Oh!
with James Taylor. Let the sinning begin. Oh, you know, and I love, yeah, applause. all
Sorry, had
around.
to happen. Had to
Yes,
happen.
and you know, I especially love. I mean, I love the whole also concept behind the song of like it's like knowing that you are gonna need the confession even before it starts. Like usually
Yep.
that happens afterwards with the regret. But I love that you're
Right.
like, no, I'm gonna do it anyway, even
We're
though I
gonna
know
get
I'm gonna
it done.
regret it.
I'm like, give me that beer, give me. I'm saving the confession
Oh
for
my
tomorrow.
I can't think of a better way to kick off the weekend than with that song.
Hey.
And,
Amen.
and you know that voice is so great. It had
Oh, yeah.
elements
Voice,
of like
right?
it had elements of like Stephen Merritt from Magnetic Fields, but it just like had that sort of like that heavy, rich thing. And with your
Mhm.
sweet voice, it just I love it. I want to
Me
hear
too.
that again. I'm just
Yeah.
gonna lobby that at some point, whether it's
Yeah.
that James Taylor, the other famous James Taylor, or anyone else, you know.
Yeah,
I'd
I
love
want
to
to hear that
live.
full band version, and
Yes.
you can too,
Yeah.
folks. If you head on
Yeah.
over to Kashimana.com,
That's right. Get the CD or the
and
digital
get the
files.
CD. You can listen to the. I'm gonna. That's what I'm gonna do right after this. I'm gonna go listen to that
Yay.
same song with the full band. Both I'm sure are amazing, and again, you can get that and all the other songs we listen to and more at Kashimana.com.
And also,
Oh.
when you're at Kashimana.com, you can sign up for her email list. You can follow her on Instagram and all the social places, and make sure to stay on top of what's happening with her new album, which comes out July 28th. Again, if you live in the city, she's playing at the Cedar on that day. So it's sure to be a great show. And speaking of great shows, Connie, thank you so much for joining us
Yeah,
and
thank you.
the compliments, and to all of you for
Thank
joining us.
you.
This show couldn't happen without a few people. We already thanked our patrons who keep the show going, but really we couldn't do it without the artists like Kashimana, who say, yes, I'll revisit an old record and share all my controversial secrets from my very first song
and
I ever wrote.
my drawings, and
Yeah,
I mean,
all of that. I
This,
mean,
is, this is the stuff that I wish you could get with music these days. You can't, so we
Right?
appreciate it.
yeah. So we appreciate Cash's time, and also we appreciate all of you for joining us and joining the conversation, because this is why we do it. Because we can listen to records on our own, but it's way more fun to do it with you.
So much fun.
Absolutely.
So thank you all for joining us. If you like the show, like it on YouTube, direct more bots to Kashimana. And also you can subscribe to our YouTube channel so you can be notified of what's coming up next week, because we do this every Friday at 4 p.m. Central, not always with Cash, sadly.
Yeah.
Again, but now that we know, I kind
Now
of
that
want
you know.
Cash to be here every week. I mean,
right.
Ah, yes. Let's be like, you free cash?
yeah,
Yeah.
Send me a
exactly.
text.
You want to listen
I'll
to some
show.
music together? Because
Yeah.
it's going to be a fun hour.
Exactly.
love it.
Well, thank you so much for bringing the sunshine today, Cash, and kicking off our weekend in style. And thanks to all of you for joining us. We hope you have a great week and that you join us next week for another edition of the Back Catalog Listening Party.
All right. Until then, let the sinning begin.
Let the
All
sinning
right.
begin.
Let us
Cheers.
set it
Cheers, everybody.
begin. Cheers.